Welcome to the launch of Gateway DPM, the easy way to design, print and share on-demand products. My name's Andrew Talbot and I'm going to walk you through what is an exciting development for us here at Custom Gateway. So, who was DPM designed for? Well, we like to think it's the world's easiest to use product design tool, virtual sample, proof and publishing and printing tool. And it was designed especially really for three groups of people. Firstly, B2B distributors and suppliers. So people that supply products that are printed, but aren't necessarily getting the orders via e-commerce. So the idea was to provide a design tool that simplifies their ordering and proofing process and help them adopt on-demand technology. So if you're a distributor or supplier, it's definitely for you. We've also designed it for smaller print shops and freelance designers who just want to create products easily and maybe print or order them. And then the third group that we think would benefit from DPM are brands and retailers wanting to design their own on-demand products. So obviously DPM is a tool especially for designing on-demand products. So what are its core features? What does DPM do? Well, and its essence, it's a very simple product design tool. Kind of a simpler version of Photoshop, just designed for designing products. It's a replacement for something we've had here for many years now, which we used to call Virtual Proof Manager or Virtual Sample Manager or Gateway SPM. So in essence, it's for creating sort of print sheets, portfolios, virtual samples, etc. It's quite a sophisticated online proof management system. There's lots of proofing, goes backwards and forwards on emails. It's a digital asset management system where you can store your logos and your designs. It's a product publishing platform where it enables you to create a link to publish a product online so that other people can order it. It's an artwork generation and printing system where it can connect to lots of different printers and print that. And it's a simple ordering platform so you can order. So if any one of those core features is of interest to you, then DPM is going to be interesting. And I guess many of you watching this may already be our customers or using our other platforms or thinking about it. So I thought I'd explain very quickly how DPM fits in with our custom product platform and our order management system. So it can be used in conjunction with both CPP and OMS. It's not something, or it can be used on its own. So ultimately it uses blanks from leading suppliers, and they've all been set up by people using CPP, and we'll talk about blanks in a minute. All the products created in DPM can then be product managed in CPP. So feeds created for, specific websites like Shopify or Magento. So anything created in DPM is available in CPP. You can publish products to the virtual product warehouse from DPM. So if you create some cool designs, you can share them via the virtual product warehouse with other people and they can order them. CPP and DPM share the same assets in terms of that. So the designs and galleries, will go through that. Approved proofs in DPM get turned into orders, which are managed via OMS. And you can print yourself or use the OMS supplier network. So that's how it integrates with our other platforms. Let me just walk you through some workflow and then we'll get on to looking at the product itself. But I think it's important for everyone attending here today to understand what it does. And this is a whistle-stop tour. So excuse me if I'm going too fast, but custom-gateway.com will have more details, and we always love to talk to you about on-demand products. So in essence, everything starts with a blank product. Now, the blank product then uses the product designer, which can use previous designs or assets to create virtual products. Once those virtual products are created, you can save them into My Products or into CPP, send a sample or portfolio sheet to a customer, send a proof to a customer, place an order either to print yourself or with someone connected on Gateway OMS or one of our other partner networks, or simply print it yourself. So everything you create comes from a blank product, uses the product designer, which use assets, which put them into my products. And then when something's in my products, you also have the additional ability to send it to our virtual product warehouse, which is a B2B marketplace for products other people can sell if you want to wholesale. Obviously, it's available in CPP for proper product management. And you can also create a smart link, so you can publish that on social media or a website and sell the product. So that's all the things you can do with DPM. So let's now start to get into the product itself and have a look at the dashboard. So you've got access to all the core features. So if we go in and take a look at the dashboard, it lets me go here to all the things we've just discussed, the blank products, the designs, my products, the proof manager, and order manager. It kind of gives you a handy summary. At the moment, I've got 668 blank products available to design on. I've got 18 assets in my digital asset management systems, which are designs and galleries. I've created 5 products, and it even gives me a snapshot of those products that I've created on the bottom of the screen. And I've currently got 2 proofs awaiting approval by customers. Okay, should we dive in a bit then and look at blank products? So this is an example. You can obviously search by any of the 680 ones in here, and I'll talk a little bit more about blank products in a minute and where they all come from. But the practicality is everything's sort of featured on the screen now. You can search by categories, suppliers, dimension, so 2D or 3D, which region of the world you're working in, because if the blank's not available in that region, and then aspect ratio. So if you've got a square logo or you want landscape, it'll just search the products by the type of print area. I think a good example, just to demonstrate the search, if I type in, say, note, it then comes up and shows a range of notebooks. So let's just design a notebook for now. Go into there and it launches the product designer. And you can see on the left-hand side, I've got my grid, which has got my designs in it or my galleries in it. So I don't know, let's just put a splosh on there. I've obviously got then the action tools on my right-hand side, where I can either use the handles on the screen to drag and move things around, or I could have used my scale tool over here to do things. I can do things like, change color of the graphics. I've got a whole range of tools over here. I can crop, remove background, bring forward, add as many different images or pictures as I want. And then my designs, and I might go into my gallery and say, okay, what have I got in my gallery? So then I've got my logos and other bits stored. So I may drop my logo on there. You can see now when I click on my logo, I can then manage, oh, that's another image, isn't it? So I haven't added any text yet. So I just click on my image, it would then let me play. So I've added 2 images so far, drag them around. If I wanted to add some text, let's just pop in my notes, drop that up there. Useful little feature here as well, editable. So when I publish it, that can either be a fixed field or I can make it non-editable. So lots and lots of things I can do with designing. I won't give you a full tour now, but hopefully everybody gets the flavour how easy that tool is to use. You don't need any experience. You've got lots of useful things on here like a grid. So you can, match up, make sure everything's how you want it to be. You could select all, so I can kind of move my design around. I can delete, start again. And then these are your kind of important actions on there. If I hit save, It'll now save that into my products. So which category do you want to save it into? And we'll call that Splash. And then it will create the product name for me as the Splash Notebook. I can send that as a proof to someone. I can send it as a portfolio sheet so it can be shared. I could print it onto a local printer if I've got one set up, or I can order it from one of the partner suppliers. So you can see how powerful and flexible the designer is. So let's just flick back to here and give you a little bit more information. This tells you about the different types of blanks. So DPM is exceedingly flexible. We've got about 500 wholesale blanks in the system. So we go to big blank suppliers, be they clothing suppliers, mug suppliers, and these are people that don't do printing but supply blanks to people that do printing. So you could put wholesale blanks in if you want to do that, or you can have supplier blanks. So all the wholesale blanks, to make life easy, can be copied into supplier blanks, or people can complete their own supplier blanks. That way, if you're a printer, you could actually give this tool or provide this tool to your customers. And every time they design something, it will come straight onto your shop floor when they hit place order. So it's quite powerful from that point of view. You can decide which blanks appear in DPM. If you're a supplier, you can only have your blanks in it. If you're an independent designer, you could only have wholesale blanks in that you know are freely available. Or if you're a retailer and do your own fulfillment, you could just put the products you want to be in there. So it's really, really flexible, DPM. Like any other product in our system, you can decide what products a specific user sees. So hopefully that makes sense and you can see how powerful that might be. The designs and galleries we've looked at. One thing I would show on this, because I think it's particularly useful, if you want to add your own designs, you've got interactive where you can use a designer a bit like the one we've just seen, or you've got PSD upload. So if you're into Photoshop and things like that, you can design in Photoshop and upload all your designs in here. And what's good about designs and the difference between a design and a gallery, really, these are kind of like gallery images. But if I scroll down, that one, add name, that particular design, if we went into it, has got two elements. And a design, can have as many elements as we want to see. So if we look there, the add name, I can, drag that around, and that design can be added to multiple products. So a design can have any number of text areas, and then a design can be added to a product. So that's why a design is different from, say, a gallery, which, if we went back to the designer we were just looking at, the galleries, and you can obviously name your galleries. So I've got a gallery there with a range of backgrounds on it. So I could put a background on there, and that's when you can start to see where you can send forward, send backwards using all the different technologies that we've got available. Expand the background now to go over the splosh. So you can see, hopefully, the difference between designs and galleries and the fact you can upload your Photoshop files as well. I think I've given you a really quick whistle-stop tour of the designer, and I do try and always make these between 15 and 20 minutes so everyone doesn't get bored. So I won't sort of focus any more on the designer for now. The My Products, I think is relatively simplistic. There's all the products I've previously created. If I were to reload my screen now, the one I've just created and saved would appear in the list. I think there's a couple of things you can obviously search that are particularly useful here. I mentioned them earlier. You could audit the product, make sure it's got all the data it needs and send it up to the virtual product warehouse so other people can sell it. Or you could pick multiple products and generate a portfolio sheet. So if you're in the promotional products industry, you could design a mug, a bag, and a pen, and put them all on the same sheet and create a nice PDF for someone. And you can see, hopefully, from how easy the designer was to use, how easy that would be to do. And if we actually then go into the product itself, we can see the product there. We've got the ability to edit the product again, which would open up the designer, place an order for the product, build a smart link, which is the publishing option where I can publish that product. There's other tutorials or really presentations to tell you about smart link. Add e-commerce data if I'm putting it into the virtual product warehouse. And categories. Drop it into different categories so all of my products are properly managed on the screen. So hopefully that gives you an idea on my products, and we'll then move on to what I think is one of the killer functions for the B2B, which is Proof Manager. So you saw the button, hopefully, on Designer. When you're on Designer, if I wanted to proof that, I hit the button that says Proof, and it would come up on the screen and say, do you want to save it? Because I haven't saved it yet. So then we'll go and give it a proof. Actually, it has been saved, hasn't it, that one? So it will just save the proof before we proceed. And then it would ask me who I want to email it to. So if I go into Proof Manager, it shows me my current proofs. It says these ones are pending review by the customer. That one's been rejected. So if I went in and looked at that, it tells me why it's been rejected. So I want our website on here too. So I could then go into that, open the design on here, go into there and say, right, I want to add the website to that one. So we'll just go custom-gateway.com. Drop that down. Looks a bit big, so let's just make it a bit smaller. Now we've got the logo on, just move the logo up. Have it in terms of that. And obviously I can then update that. And I can then resend that for proofing. So I've now resent it. And if I look then at the little address I have on there, I guess if I just pop in and do that, it would load it as if I'm receiving it. And you can see then I've received the details on that. I can make a comment and I can hit approve. So that's the Proof Manager, how that works for managing. And I don't know if you saw, if we went back into that, or different one this time, I've got the option there to place order. So that would then go into Order Manager. And obviously what happened to that order would depend on whether it was a wholesale blank, a supplier blank. If you're printing it yourself, it would just go into a list for you to print. If you're ordering it from somewhere else, it would just automatically be ordered. So it's an easy way for ordering samples and everything else. So hopefully that gives you a really quick understanding of what we can do with DPM and how it's useful, whether you're already using our platform or just looking for, a simple tool to start doing on-demand products. Order Manager we've discussed. It's also worth mentioning network partners, because we're partnering with an exciting new project called Go Exchange, which is a global network of thousands of printers. So anything you design in DPM can go into Go Exchange, so be printed and supplied anywhere in the world. And obviously we've also got our own network of customers who tend to be the largest on-demand printers, which are also all around the world. So whether it's a distributed manufacturing network that will automatically find a printer for you, or you want to be introduced to a large fulfillment house, we can help you, and they're all connected to DPM. So we'll finish up. If you want more details, custom-gateway.com, Design and Proof Manager -DPM will give you all the information. But we've got 3 core packages. The simple designer and print only. Excuse me if you're international. I've got these in pounds for now, but it equates roughly to whatever the exchange rate is. So the designer and print is just £30 a month. If you're a supplier, want to put all your own products in it and use it for proofing, sending to your customers, etc., that's £249 a month. And if you're a supplier that thinks, wow, my customers would really benefit from this, and I'd love to have just my products in it and give it to my customers for only $500 or $499 a month, you can give it to as many of your customers as you want. So hopefully you're as excited as me about the launch of Gateway DPM. Thanks for listening, and please don't hesitate to get in touch if we can help you in any way, shape or form. Have a nice day.